Hello. Hi, everybody. Hope everybody's having a good day today and a good start to Pride Month. Happy Pride Month, everybody. Or should I say, hi, gay. Happy Pride Month. We are sashaying away with deals. I'll probably say the entirety of that some other time later, but nobody's here yet. Anyway, hi! Hope everybody's having a good day. Today, a new Punishing Grey Raven story chapter has just dropped. Oh, hi Red Vaporeon. It's the Winter Rainbow. Yeah? Also, hi Cole. How are both of you doing? Hope you're having a good start to Pride Month. Yeah. Hi, gay. Happy Pride Month. We are sashaying away with deals. Ooh. I see Ace Pride. Yes. We out here being Ace. We doing it. I know I talk like I'm I know I probably sound like I'm real horny for men, but and to an extent that is true. It's just on a it's not on a sexual level. Really. It's complicated. You don't know what's a fun way to use my last name? Let's think. Oh, that's what you meant by Winter Rainbow. I see. Because it's it's like a rainbow that only happens when it's really cold. In the north. Or in the south, I guess. But yes, anyway. New Punishing Grey Raven story chapter just dropped. So, guess what? It's time for pain. And this is a story beat that we've kind of been working up to for a while now. Way back in December, a weird little evil little girl named Aisling decided to just crash Babylonia, and the F.O.S. military college disappeared because we know she wants to go there for some reason. Okay, have a nice lurk, Red. Thank you for coming. But we know she wants to go there. And so we've kind of been searching for it. And now it seems like we've maybe found it. I mean, yeah, you get it, Cole. Just because you're asexual does not mean that you cannot and will not gawk at handsome fictional men. Or handsome real men. Asexuality is a spectrum. Hi, F.O.S. Happy Pride Month. Hope you're having a good day. Okay, so let's get started. Beep boop beep bop boop.
Welcome.
Oh wait, I should do this so we can see the artwork. Yeah. And so then, yeah, the new story chapter is called Homecoming Voyage. Oh, this one's got 28 parts. Oh, this is gonna be long, isn't it? In that case, let's get started. Hunt. She stares at the figure in the crimson waves. Familiar, and yet not. Decades carved out of her life float there, adrift in red. We've got 2 achievements to go for. Complete the stage and watch the entire opening show. Two years have passed since the outbreak of the punishing virus. Shrubs sprawl freely along the riverbank. Geese claim the dead reeds for their nests, and a cold wind cuts through the withering landscape. Ripples carve their patient scars into the surface of the water. Beneath their feet, the shore drifts slowly away.
Lucia?
Lucia signals for Luna to stay silent, then drops into a crouch and slides a rusted hunting rifle from beneath the boat. This is her last weapon. She still remembers watching her father use this same rifle to pick off rabbits, nibbling at the garden vegetables. If he could do it, then she should be able to. Hi, Peach! How are you today? Happy Pride Month! Her gaze shifts toward the geese sheltering in the reeds. A hollow ache sounds in her stomach. She hasn't eaten all day.
Lucia? What are they doing?
Luna echoes Lucia's movements, crouching beside her. She follows her sister's gaze out to the birds, who preen their feathers in the cold light, utterly without care. Ooh, you just ate a hot ham and cheese sandwich? Oh, sounds nice. That sounds nice. I like cheese.
Migrating.
Lucia's fingers find 2 bullets in her pocket. She holds them gingerly, as if they might shatter, before turning the rifle over and easing them into the magazine port with a soft metallic click.
The geese would go back to their warm homes every year around this time.
Lucia works the pump, hears the shell's seat home, then reaches for Luna's hand. She guides it to the grip, wrapping her sister's fingers around the worn stock.
Are you ready? Ready for what?
Luna copies her sister's hold, fingers clenching around the shotgun stock until her knuckles pale.
Hold tight. Finger right here, on the trigger. Then...
Once she's sure Luna has the shotgun braced right, Lucia turns away and reaches for one of the stones she'd gathered earlier and left resting in the boat. The stone strikes the water with a sharp splash. Ripples shatter outward. In the next breath, the geese explode from the reeds, wings thrashing, a frantic tide of feathers rising to choke the sky.
Now, shoot! Don't they need to go home?
Yes, but we need to survive. Lucia's hand closes over Luna's, steadying the shotgun's weight. Such has always been the law of the universe. Together they lift the barrel and draw a bead on the panicked flock wheeling against the cold sky. Conservation. Lucia narrows her eyes, sighting down the barrel's spine. For one to live, another must die. For one to survive, another must be eaten. Eat the sin. Eat it all, and let the weight be yours alone. Somewhere deep in the folds of her mind, an adult woman's voice loops endlessly. Above, the geese scatter and bank, Lucia pushes the voice aside. Just as one day, you will have to kill me to survive. The shot erupts in a thunderous spray, countless pellets tearing outward into a shrieking wall of steel. It engulfs the panicked flock mid-flight. Several geese, still clawing for altitude, are caught in the spread. There's nowhere to run. Dull splashes follow, one, then another, as lifeless bodies strike the water, sending up splashes of white. The recoil's heavy punch draws a quiet whimper from Luna. Lucia sets her jaw and pulls at the oars. Comfort will have to wait. The boat glides forward, narrowing the distance to what they've done. 1, 2, 3. Crimson tendrils unfurl across the water. Lucia leans low and gathers the bodies, one by one. Their portion for the coming days. No more, no less. Exactly 11. Her fingers tighten around the geese. Blood seeps warm between her knuckles as she lifts them clear of the water. The moment she pulls, her viewpoint climbs. Her finger bones elongate, stretching unnaturally. Below, the shadow on the water's surface fractures, tearing apart in violent ribbons. She stares at the figure in the crimson waves, familiar and yet not. Decades carved out of her life float there, adrift in red. Then her palm registers the change. The wet down against her skin vanishes. What remains is smooth and strange, the soft, giving resistance of synthetic flesh. She jerks her arm up. The geese in her grasp have become familiar faces. Her hands are clamped tight around their throats. Liv, Lee, Vera, Bianca, Wansha, Shun, Mural. The river cracks apart. The boat dissolves at the shadow's edge. White light swallows everything. Then her vision punches through. Blood drips. Below her, a landscape of corpses rises in heaps and ridges, an ocean of slaughter. She stands at the seam where shadow tears away from the light. She sees a rugged path winding into gray fog, the way forward uncertain and veiled. She sees a blood-red sun bleeding into dusk, figures locked in combat side by side, carrying the fragile weight of what hope remains. She sees an academy bathed in radiant light, jagged crimson crystals and bones bleached white, drifting through the infinite expanse of the universe. The magnificent and the shattered blur together, folding into a distant, silent void. At the farthest edge of the vision, she looks down upon herself, standing before the mirror. Light and shadow tear through her spine. She stands where the Ascension Network ends. She becomes Alpha. The Fog, Chapter 1. One day, beyond all the paths that pulled us apart, we will find our way back together.
It's that mist again. Raven should be just ahead.
lights. How does starlight find its way home anyway?
Why does this feel so familiar? Illusion?
I don't give two shits which star you end up reaching. Ain't my business. Especially not when the most spectacular fireworks show in history is about to start.
There's more.
Not to perish, not to end. Abyss, bow before me.
Not done yet.
Against all odds. My blade shall quench the fading light.
You are... Lucia.
Well, didn't teach us so much. I want to go somewhere I'm actually needed. Or even the front lines on Earth.
Is this an illusion created by that power?
Luna!
You again. What exactly are you trying to show me?
The geese would go back to their warm homes every year around this time. Don't they need to go home? Yes. But we need to survive.
Is this... what I told Luna in the past?
Oh, more baddies. They're all foggy. More of a...
Not to perish, not to end. Abyss, bow before me. Break the deadlock.
F.O.S.
F.O.S. starship, Babylonia. Alright, settle down. Look here, I'm actually taking it now. Laughing and jostling one another, Several students, fresh in their F.O.S. college uniforms, fell into a line beneath the F.O.S. monument. Hey, these NPC arts are a lot higher quality. I wonder if these are all, like, named characters or not. Ready? Look here. 3, 2, 1. Their youthful smiles were frozen in the terminal's image, caught and preserved. Well, that turned out great. Mia, come on, you have to be in the next one. It's our first college anniversary as actual students. We can't just stay behind the camera the whole time. Thanks, but I'm good. What I'm actually curious about, though, why does the F.O.S. monument only have a top half? Oh yeah, my dad mentioned that once. He said back when it was on the surface, the F.O.S. monument was carved from a single massive piece of black rock. Here. Lifting their heads, the students gazed up at the towering black monument. It had been broken clean through the middle, the dark stone's jagged edges remaining cold and sharp at the fracture. Like a gaping wound that refused to heal, yet was forcibly preserved in that very state. Yeah, we're finally getting backgrounds on male student 1 and 2 and female student 1 and 2. We finally get to learn their backstory. And yeah, what a wholesome, friendly bond. What's the catch? Beyond the monument, several commandants who had graduated from F.O.S. stood together. You'd drag me into this anniversary nonsense. The Grey Raven Commandant's the one they should be fawning over. It was the F.O.S. anniversary. Following Academy tradition, cadets stationed at ground front lines across the Arctic Route Union, Actilec, the Transatlantic Economic Community, Kowloon, and beyond celebrated simultaneously at their respective posts. After all, even on an anniversary, the gears of civilization never stopped turning. Given F.O.S. College's emphasis on hands-on surface training, only a small faction of faculty and students remained aboard the F.O.S. starship at Babylonia. Only the newly enrolled freshmen, the logistics personnel, a handful of instructors, and a few commandants completing their graduation internships were left to keep their somewhat vacant alma mater company on its birthday. With one small exception, of course. While waiting for Bombinata's external memory module to finish maintenance, Vanessa found herself, unfortunately, swept up in the freshmen's festivities as a star commandant. We invited the Grey Raven Commandant too, but got word the Commandant's still tied up on a surface mission. Already agreed to come, just couldn't make it back in time. Hello? You must be the distinguished graduates the college invited. The curious freshmen crowded around them. Vanessa furrowed her brow and cut Eliana off, her words laced with clear impatience. What do you want? Sorry to interrupt. We're new students at F.O.S. and we were wondering, why is only the top half of the monument here on the starship? Listen up. I'll say this once, so pay attention. Anything else, take it up with your instructors. I'm not your history lecturer. The F.O.S. monument on Earth was intact. It bore the complete inscriptions, the Academy's founding history, its distinguished alumni, and a full chronicle of major events. Then the punishing virus broke out. The area around F.O.S. got swallowed by war, and the monument collapsed during an incident. The superintendent at the time wanted to make a smaller replica here on the starship, but Dominic overruled him, insisting on relocating only the upper half intact. Relocated intact? But why? Wouldn't that have taken way more Nobody knows why. Vanessa tilted her head back slightly as light from Babylonia's artificial dome fell upon the monument standing tall on the starship, its surface gleaming brilliantly. In the Academy records, Dominic left exactly one statement about it. That's it. Electronic coordinates can be blocked by space. Only torn vessels will be able to serve as anchors for each other and follow fate's trajectory to return home. At the time, everyone thought it was just another riddle Dominic left behind. What the? Babylonia is under attack. Several attacks are targeting the F.O.S. starship. Retreat! Get to the nearest shelter, now! Conference room, Babylonia. As the last footage of the F.O.S. starship stored on Babylonia finishes playing once more, Asimov turns off the terminal. Below, you flip through the complete reports on the F.O.S. starship. 3 months had passed since the attack, and Babylonia just barely managed an emergency landing. Before stability could return, the F.O.S. starship ejected and separated without warning. Babylonia never gave up the search for the F.O.S. starship. At first, the Science Council could barely pick up intermittent signals from it, but 20 days ago, the signal vanished completely. So, is the communicator we brought back from Izette any help? That Izette communicator is exactly why I called you here. Izette, if you don't remember, was a military garrison base affiliated with F.O.S. During the post-pandemic age, it carried out Project Barleycorn, which aimed to create genetically enhanced human weapons. It was once Kamui's home when he was still human. To search for F.O.S. signals, Kamui and the Commandant later returned to Izette, which covered the communication device, and finally said goodbye to the past. I didn't expect much from it, honestly. Just wanted to see if it might offer a different angle. But it picked up something unusual. Harsh static crackles through the audio as Asimov plays it back. What is this? All the best to you. All the best to you? Asimov raises a hand, motioning for you to keep listening. Through the bursts of white noise, faint cheers and lively chatter drift out, conjuring the image of a joyous celebration unfolding. Lovey-dovey. Happy. Plagued by noise, the audio recording drags on, difficult to discern. Then comes what sounds like a chorus of voices, each taking a turn to offer blessings to the newly engaged couple. It almost feels as though the communicator has mistakenly caught a broadcast from some proposal happening far below on the surface. Though it bears no connection to you, the unguarded joy and laughter piercing the distorted static hold an oddly moving quality. They seep through your ears, gently soothing a heart grown restless under the weight of endless tasks. Research. Sapphira. Testing. Sapphira? Within the garbled transmission, a term all too familiar surfaces without warning. Yes, Sapphira. I had Rosa run a full analysis on the audio through multiple methods. There's no possibility of fabrication. How did Izette's communicator pick this up? That communicator operates on a fixed frequency, anchored to the surface level F.O.S. coordinates. Designed for two-way communication between F.O.S. and Izette. Naturally, the signal it received would originate from surface-level F.O.S. But surface-level F.O.S. should have been abandoned ages ago. No people, but there are still other things there. You mean... the F.O.S. monument? Dominic overruled everyone back then, insisted on bringing the upper half onto the starship, no matter what it took. And now a signal like this turns up, of all times. There may be critical elements at the original surface-level F.O.S. site that were never fully investigated. The military has issued a new mission to investigate anomalies at the old site. Which squad was assigned? It was going to Cerberus, but I intercepted it. You did? The reason I gave was that Cerberus lacks a commandant capable of ground deployment, and therefore cannot handle unexpected emergencies on site. And the real reason? He powers down the main screen and turns his gaze over. This audio file isn't as straightforward as it appears. The underlying data shows abnormal fluctuations, and its electromagnetic signature doesn't match any recorded frequency band. It's possible someone deliberately engineered this signal so Babylonia would pick it up. Or, precisely so we couldn't. Alternatively, this audio originated from an unconventional source and happened to be caught by Azet's communicator by pure chance. Both feel a little too convenient. Then, a third possibility exists. He lifts his head, and in his dark red eyes, careful deliberation gleams. This audio most likely doesn't belong to our timeline. Oh, we're getting into timeline fuckery again, baby! Doesn't belong to our timeline. The Hetero Tower? The Hetero Tower. The two of you arrive at the answer simultaneously. The Hetero Tower again? But it's Pride Month! The Hetero Tower here in this timeline? Is that possible? I can't confirm it yet. That's precisely why I kept the decoded audio restricted. The fewer people who know about this, the better. And it's also why I want you to take on this mission. Me? Your background at F.O.S. College, combined with your field experience from the Hetero Tower campaign, makes you the best choice. Whether it's docking with the starship once we reach the coordinates, or investigating whatever secrets the old F.O.S. site still holds on the ground. And there's the timing. When the F.O.S. starship disappeared, the college was in the middle of its anniversary celebration. Most active commandants were attending the festivities at their respective posts. Put simply, we don't have anyone better suited for this right now. A quip rises to your lips, but the words never find their way out. The F.O.S. starship, the Hetero Tower. The starship carries colleagues and the next generation of cadets. The Hetero Tower threatens all of humanity. No matter how you look at it, there is no room for error on this mission. I see. The old F.O.S. site. You remember the archival photographs you once saw in the F.O.S. library? It was a solemn, dignified campus, radiating an air of proud glory. The F.O.S. starship was built as a near-perfect replica of that original campus, meant to carry humanity on its journey to the stars. But that shining dream never came to pass. When the punishing virus broke out, F.O.S. College lost over half its faculty and students in battle before the evacuation order arrived. The starship launched amid the chaos, leaving the campus behind in a desperate scramble. What secrets remain in the ruins below? No one knows. As for the rest, I've already said more than enough. Celica will forward you the mission briefing. Watch yourself out there.
Will do.
Asimov puts away his terminal and turns to leave. You remain seated alone in the dark conference room.
F.O.S. College. Where could it be now?
You close your eyes. The memories hold fast, vivid and untouched by time. Professor Vermeer brought mechanical dynamics to life. Even the dullest structural diagrams turned vivid in his hands. For close quarters combat, it was Instructor Lester, a cold weapon specialist, who taught you everything you know. Eliana and Valen, your upperclassmen who later turned faculty. And Vanessa, who accepted the invitation to visit F.O.S. on its anniversary. It's a starship built to forge humanity's future leaders. A college bearing the hopes of generations. Even after graduation, you have returned regularly, invited to lecture, to dissect combat scenarios. Every hallway, every familiar corner. The students rapt with attention. The professors who once shaped you. Are they all right now? And why, of all days, did it have to be the anniversary celebration? Thoughts in turmoil. You open the file from Asimov again to watch the last footage of F.O.S. preserved in Babylonia's records. Which dragged me into this anniversary nonsense. The Grey Raven Commandant's the one they should be fawning over. We invited the Grey Raven Commandant too. The footage shows the starship alive with laughter and celebration before static snow swallows the screen whole. Two days later. Aboard the transport, Lucia rises to her feet and makes her way to the rear storage compartment for the third time, double-checking the mission supplies. Lucia?
Sorry, Commandant.
Back in her seat, Lucia furrows her brow and pulls up her terminal again, checking how much farther you have to go.
Is it the nightmares again?
It's nothing. I probably just knocked my memory module during routine frame maintenance the other day. Be honest with me. A moment of hesitation, and then Lucia speaks, her voice heavy. These past 2 days, I keep recalling hazy memories of the fog. A region of twisted time and space created by heterotowers and filtering. It's filled with the remains of worlds that collapsed during the filtering process. An endless white fog swallows her fractured dreams, and everything dissolves into the haze.
But I shouldn't be having dreams like this.
The heterotower never shows itself here. Which means the fog shouldn't exist in this world at all. Although, it looks like Alpha's there. And Lucia and Alpha are still connected. So maybe that's why. If anything else feels off, promise you'll tell me right away.
I will, Commandant.
The black-haired construct gives you a smile in return. As you speak, the transport banks and descends, dust swirling up in its wake. Below, the ruins of F.O.S. College rise into view. The campus, once magnificent, lies like the skeleton of some great whale, stripped bare by time. Only the shattered prism tower at its center still catches the light, its fading brilliance refracting the blood-red glow of the setting sun. We're here. So this is F.O.S. This is F.O.S. Well, I remembered, something else that showed up with this update is this. It's called the Philotree Dossier. It is apparently supposed to be some kind of thing that tells us about the Sapphira and the Philotree frames. So there are 2 Philotree frames in the game now. There's Liv's frame, Limpidity, and Alpha's brand new frame, Inverse Crown. Live Limpidity is the Mercy Philotree frame, a manifestation of emotion, the collective conviction within humanity's subconscious. Emotion draws its strength from a deep faith in life itself. When the will of all beings resonates as one, the tide that rises from it becomes the Sapphira of Mercy. And then we have Alpha's Crown, an answer Dominic decoded from cosmic information, a civilization blueprint named Crown. And apparently this is connected to some of the other recent frames we've seen. It says Teddy's Spectre frame is a Foundation Sephira frame, and Nervatia Dirge, Rosetta Arete, and Kamui Eternian are Nexus frames. Now, I don't know what all that means. Maybe we'll find out. But we have this information now. Yeah, I'm curious what all these mean. And if you click on them, it just directs you to the story chapters. Yeah, so that's a new thing that's been added. Oh, hi, Wesley! How are you? Hope you're having a good day. Wait, what's this?
All the best to you.
Oh.
Lovey-dovey. Happy.
It's the audio file.
No research on Saphira testing. Say yes to each other already. I'm rooting for you.
You're good, especially now that you're watching me too. Thank you. Oh, and happy Pride Month. It's the perfect time to be consumed by hubris. But only if you're queer. So yeah. I'm hoping we'll learn a bit more about the Philotree this chapter, because I still don't really know a lot about it. It's still kind of like, okay, what is that? Prism Square. Only the fragments of prisms strewn about and Only the fragments of prisms strewn about and the tower still standing tall bear witness to the glory that once defined this place. Temporary camp, surface. Beside a withered tree root, a petite, silver-haired agent sits with downcast eyes, staring into her palm. Tiny, jagged crystal clusters silently spread across it, fading with each slow breath.
Luna, your hand! Is the Ascension Network acting up again?
I'm not sure. Her eyes fall shut. Deep within, she feels the punishing virus surging out of control, churning relentlessly through the Ascension Network. Something else is tampering with it. My sight is cut short. I can't make out what's agitating the virus.
Something else? You don't think... a new agent?
Nervously, Lamia hugs the oddly shaped tree branch close in her arms. Possible, but I suspect a more immediate source. That domain that opened up the other day, perhaps.
That domain?
Luna tilts her head back, Lamia mirroring the gesture, and together they gaze up at the sky.
Oh, you mean that rift? The one that just appeared?
Lamia remembers that harrowing encounter all too clearly. The moment Luna learned Babylonia was under attack, she changed course. Outwardly, she showed no sign of concern, yet she steered them straight toward Babylonia's plummeting trajectory.
Does Babylonia really need us?
If they fall and the red tide swallows their data, the mess becomes ours. This is a necessity, nothing more.
Oh, that's a shame.
What's wrong? The Ascension Network. It's trembling. Luna's head jerked upward. Still connected to the Ascension Network, Roland and Lamia felt the anomaly ripple through them too. All four turned their eyes to the sky. That's... Across the sky, a starship bearing the Babylonia F.O.S. College insignia hurtled past, flying dangerously low, as though it might crash into the earth at any second. The F.O.S. starship? Why would it be here of all places? It's not alone. A dark rift split the sky without warning, and through it came grayish mist and thick churning clouds of punishing virus. The F.O.S. starship's engines flared with blinding light, a last futile struggle. Against gravity's absolute grip, the enormous vessel was nothing more than dust caught in a gale, pulled irreversibly into that foreign domain.
So some power from that domain leaked out, and it's disrupting the Ascension Network. But what kind of place is even full of punishing virus like that?
Lamia tries her hardest to help Luna string together an answer. The Hetero Tower.
What?
Forget it. The hazy memory she caught through the Ascension Network remains hers alone. She's not about to share it with anyone. I've returned, Miss Luna. Roland rushes back into camp, his frame still road-worn. Babylonia's fall has been paused. What comes next in their grand performance remains unclear. The F.O.S. starship's vanishing act is confirmed. Babylonia has scrambled its task force squads and engineering force units, all chasing smoke. But no trace so far. Not even a whisper. Ah, and a most curious encounter at the camp's edge. Lithos, the very same who once played loyal shadow to a certain Mr. Vonnegut. Roland hesitates briefly, then decides to forego the honorific entirely. He's not exactly playing hide and seek. If anything, it's a very deliberate little parade. Look at me, I'm harmless. Shall I shoo him away?
Leave him. He'll go once it's time.
As you wish.
With the mission done, Roland scans for a comfortable spot to catch a quick rest, only to notice that the camp's silent guardian has vanished from sight.
And where has our dear Miss Alpha wandered off to?
She told Luna she saw someone. I had to go check. Luna didn't want her to, but then... Sis caught a trace, possibly connected to that domain. She went after it.
But the stage out there is crawling with danger. The solo act seems rather...
I upgraded her frame. With Celine defeated, Luna reclaimed her agent authority and drew upon the Ascension Network's power to reconstruct Alpha's frame. At first, Alpha was caught off guard by the gift, given seemingly for no reason at all.
A new frame? That's unnecessary. Don't waste your strength on me.
It isn't a waste, sis. Luna firmly held Alpha down. It's the path forward. She was never going to forget what she had heard in that call. Alpha offered no more resistance. It still won't bring her back to her prime, but it's beyond what she had. Even knowing the Hetero Tower has yet to descend, the ache buried deep in her mind keeps urging her to remain vigilant. The silver-haired agent gazes out in the direction Alpha left, then closes her eyes once more. Sis. She always knows what she wants. She will find her own path. The wind drives sharp sand across the barren expanse, sculpting the silhouettes of ruins that once rose in splendor.
F.O.S.
After changing frames, Alpha senses a strange force gathering in her left eye, welling up within the pupil and pressing down the restless, punishing virus. It holds the quality of vision, a sight engraved forever in the crimson eye that marks her original self. She wants to uncover its source, yet the time for answers has not come. A single flash of steel, and a grotesque corrupted and the crumbling F.O.S. college sign both fall, split clean in two. Alpha dismisses her fleeting familiarity with F.O.S., just stories of that renowned commandant who hailed from there, and hesitates no longer. She kicks aside rubble and twisted metal, pressing straight ahead. She is certain of it. That strange Ravenge is still here. Ravenge is dead. Lithos the Ascendant had no reason to lie to her. So this Ravenge can only be a phantom conjured by that anomalous power. And that power has already touched Luna. Demons crawling out of hell, or parasites clinging to that frame, it matters little. She will drag them all out and cut them down, one by one. The ring of steel echoes down the corridor as Alpha sheaths her blade. With the path carved open, she presses forward, her purpose unwavering. Commandant, so this is F.O.S.? Over broken bricks and weathered rubble, two figures quietly emerge from the far side of the Prism Square. Coordinates check out. This is the place. So this is what F.O.S. looks like on the surface. With corrupted cleared from both sides, Lucia surveys the area, her gaze balanced between vigilance and curiosity. I didn't expect this either. You never thought you would see the original F.O.S. college like this. Weathered to ruin, it mirrors every other shattered relic scattered across Earth. Only the broken prisms glinting in the dust, and that one tower still reaching skyward, remember the brilliance that once lived here. Commandant, you've never set foot here before either, have you? I've only seen it through terminal records. As early as the mid to late Golden Age, F.O.S. was grooming a starship of its own, designed to host a flawless replica of the surface campus. Harvey Morin, the iron-fisted superintendent who personally launched F.O.S. into the starship era, stood in the college auditorium. His eyes outshone every star in the sky, his aspiration a tangible force.
F.O.S. was never meant to be just a college. Our horizon can't end at Earth's atmosphere. The future lies among the stars, in the cosmos itself.
Along the starship's main keel, industrial machines toiled while F.O.S. wagered its entire legacy on a monstrous leviathan of steel. The main engine array flared to life in unison, azure flames slashing across the heavens. Everyone believed with unshakable certainty that this is the future of F.O.S., the future of humanity itself. Then came 2160, the year of the punishing virus outbreak. The visionary who once stood at the summit of that auditorium, orchestrating every detail of the starship's design, never lived to see it fly. Then Alistair Vance, former Dean of Tactical Command, took up the mantle of Superintendent at F.O.S.
Humanity needs us now. They need everything F.O.S. has to offer. F.O.S. must take to the battlefield.
No flowers greeted him. No cheers. Only the silent battlefield lay ahead. He stood in the battle-scarred auditorium, his voice raw and hoarse.
F.O.S. is the blade humanity drives into the abyss. So long as a single breath of our civilization remains, F.O.S.'s strength shall never be extinguished.
F.O.S. College rose in full force. Battle after desperate battle. Strike after suicidal strike. Students who had once burned with life became only names, drifting back on the endless stream of casualty reports from the front. They saved the city's central purification filter. They secured the civilians' path to evacuation. The only thing they failed to save was themselves. Humanity crossed into the post-pandemic age. F.O.S. College lost more than... F.O.S. College lost more than half its number, teetering on the brink of total annihilation. Midway through the post-pandemic age, the corrupted surged forward in a massive invasion. Somewhere behind a desk buried beneath resource charts and tactical reports, Superintendent Alistair Vance quietly stopped breathing. Until that final moment, he had given every fragment of his experience and knowledge to calculating the optical outcome of each battle, leading humanity to victory time after time. No gunfire, no explosions, Just a slow slip into silence, with the dull thud of the terminal hitting the floor, the only sound that announced his end. This can't go on. Arthur Heydrich, chief instructor of F.O.S. Military Command College at that time, stepped into the role of superintendent. Without a word, he draped his worn, faded instructor's coat over Alistair's body. The vast F.O.S. auditorium once held thousands in assembly. Now, it was so deathly still that the whisper of fabric carried across the hall. Below the stage, scarcely a dozen students stood to bid Alistair farewell. They could not even form a proper formation. Empty sleeves hung where arms had once been. Blood-stained bandages wrapped around their heads, and their eyes carried a hollow grief so deep it had bled into numbness. The war won't end for years, but F.O.S., it can't end here. Even if they brand me a coward for it, I have to preserve what's left of F.O.S. It's time for the F.O.S. starship to set sail. He invoked the superintendent's emergency authority, seizing what remained of F.O.S. College's resources and pouring them all into the starship project. There were those within the college who insisted F.O.S. should stay on the surface and share humanity's fate to the bitter end. They branded him a coward and a traitor, a man who had abandoned F.O.S.'s honor. Arthur pushed forward with the launch anyway. By the mid to late post-pandemic age, the F.O.S. starship had reached full completion. F.O.S. will stand as humanity's last hope. As for the war on Earth, it's ours to fight. He stood on the surface below, watching as the F.O.S. starship climbed skyward. Dust and rubble swirled in the wind as the steel Leviathan rose, carrying the countless names of the fallen, and with them, F.O.S.'s last spark of hope. Against the fading embers of sunset, it ascended to join Babylonia. The shattered bricks beneath his feet might once have recalled F.O.S. College in its glory days, but the ruins had long since been swallowed by the red tide and the corrupted. The records mention that a contingent was left behind to hold the original site. But as time passed, as time ground on and most of the surface fell, there was no longer any need to hold on to these Golden Age ruins for the sake of pride. The new superintendent evacuated everyone who remained, and with that, the original F.O.S. College site was consigned to the flames of war, abandoned forever. Amid the ruins, fractured light catches on glass shards strewn across the ground. From what I remember, in your mind, hazy impressions drift and layer over one another. Up ahead, there should be a square. Prism Square. Her boots trace unfamiliar steps. Alpha's hand rests on her blade, yet she leaves it sheathed. It feels like she's walked this ground before. Deja vu prickles at her senses. She can't place which part of these ruins triggers the recognition. Her brain simply registers the anomaly. Why does this place stir her so? She has no clear answer, only a nagging sense that something hovers just beyond reach. Could that power be at work? The broken mirrors at her side catch her reflection. A faint sound echoes from behind. She whips around.
For a fleeting moment, it feels like someone should be calling out to her. The corrupted lurking behind the mirror shards let out piercing shrieks. She sheathes her blade and flicks an indifferent glance across the square, toward the corridor beyond. The corrupted shadows bleed from behind the mirrors, converging from all sides. Pathetic. That's the best you can do? The wails die as the corrupted fall, one after another. Alpha takes her last step from the corridor, her gaze drawn instinctively to a mirror beside her. Over there. Was there supposed to be a podium? Which leaves you exactly one way to go. She sees the square teeming with people. They stand below, faces tilted upward. She hears countless voices murmuring a countdown. 5, 4, 3. Who's there? Alert, she raises her hand, willing the inexplicable phantoms to disperse. But nothing happens. In the shattered mirror, she's still alone. What's that sound? Watch out! Several corrupted lunge from either side of the corridor, their shrieks splitting the air. Was it them? After cutting down the corrupted that ambushed the two of you, Lucia turns back. Maybe. One thing, however, is clear. Something about this place is wrong. This place is too clean. Up until now, only a handful of corrupted have crossed your path. The cleanliness here is unnerving. Did someone pass through here already? Or... Commandant! Over there! Prism Square opens ahead. There, the weathered base of the F.O.S. monument waits in silence, enduring across the years. The F.O.S. monument. The starship had taken only the upper half, leaving the base behind. Long ago, the instructor who brought you into F.O.S. explained its meaning. That one day, every cadet would find their way back to... Commandant! Lucia's blade flashes from its sheath, carrying the long sword of breath before it reaches you. What are you doing here? I was here first. The question is yours to answer. This is F.O.S. Why shouldn't I be here? Why is Alpha here at F.O.S.? Did she get word of this place too? A thunderous crash rings out. Not far away, the F.O.S. sign, long dangling by a thread above the corridor, finally yields, hurled to the ground as if it could endure the tension no longer. The crash snaps Alpha back to attention. Lips pressed tight, she disengages, using the force of their locked blades to push herself back. Commandant, stay behind me! Lucia shields you, backing away slowly, mirroring Alpha's movements until both sides settle at what barely passes for a safe distance. Wait. A fallen sign wouldn't make Alpha back off. You follow her line of sight to Prism Square. A grayish fog
creeps around the ground from nowhere, and within it, shadowy figures begin to take shape in the corners of the square. Again? Without sparing either of you a glance, she turns and strides into the square. This fog. A flicker of recognition stirs at the sight of the grayish fog. The dreams that have been plaguing her mind for days now stand before her, made real. Lucia's brow furrows. It's not just fog. This is the punishing virus. Commandant, we need to fall back. Before the final words can leave her lips, the gray fog convulses, thrashing like a sentient thing, and drags you and Lucia into its depth. Commandant! Silently, a dark rift yawns open. Every word you might have spoken is swallowed as a foreign domain claims you. Moments later, the fog recedes as quietly as it arrived. The crumbling ruins alone remain, standing guard over a square now hollow. Okay. So, something very bad has already happened. We're already separated. That didn't take long. Man, we're only 2 stages in. It's already been more than an hour. This is definitely going to be one I'm going to have to break up into a lot of smaller segments. I mean, I figured it would be, but yeah, definitely. Strayed. Done crying? Construction on the F.O.S. starship began during the Golden Age's mid to late years. Our next target is the stars! At that time, Project Eden was advancing at full steam, bringing with it visions of interstellar colonization. Determined to rise to the occasion, F.O.S. superintendents channeled immense resources into a breathtaking ambition: rebuilding the entire college as a starship among the stars. When at last the colossal vessel was complete, it struck awe into every beholder. All believed it would lift F.O.S. students to heights never before reached. But now, the great starship drifts helplessly through the fog, its engines cold and silent. It once stood testament to the dreams of generations. Now it lies stranded, a behemoth in decay, strangled by the relentless churn of fog. Through rifts torn in the expanse, twisted creatures emerge in an endless tide, dragging themselves onto the deck. Move it, Eliana! No time to waste! After lowering her smoking gun, Vanessa slams the rear hatch shut with her boot. Just as it seals, sharp claws wedge into the gap. Their scrape against the metal, a sound that gnaws at the nerves. The instructor, Eliana, reacts instantly, swinging a heavy metal crowbar down hard upon the claws. The severed limbs spray thick fluids across the floor. Eliana seizes the opening, slamming her full weight against the door. Outside, the wounded creatures howl and claw furiously at the barrier. Persistent bastards. Heavy slams rock the door. The creatures throw themselves against it, and even the bulkhead trembles. The lock whines in protest. Eliana, breathing ragged, turns and switches on her terminal's light, yet the beam scarcely pierces the gloom.
Once spotless, the medical bay now drowns in thick, murky fog. Their light pushes back only a small sphere of the gloom, its edges already dissolving into the haze. Could be more of them hiding in there. Her gaze sweeps over the wreckage littering the medical bay. When she speaks, it is barely a whisper. Nia, we'll hold the line. You find that serum. Remember what I taught you about the labels. Stay sharp, quick and clean.
Understood, ma'am.
Without a moment's pause, the student in the protective suit dives into the ransacked room. The hammering against the metal door intensifies, a massive, thunderous heartbeat that shakes the walls. The air hangs thick with disinfectant, laced with rot. The flashlight cuts through the swirling gray fog that recoils and shifts like something sentient. Time slows to a trickle. Crate by crate, Nia rips through the supplies, her eyes darting across each label with frantic precision. Eliana, 10 o'clock. Behind the medicine cabinet. Her voice is swallowed by the crack of gunfire. The line of iron cabinets slams to the floor, making a wall of noise that shakes the room. From the shadows, a twisted form lunges forth. Its claws rake the alloy floor with a piercing shriek. Nia, eyes forward! Keep looking! Dagger drawn, Eliana moves without hesitation, stepping between Nia and the approaching danger.
Yes.
Though her voice shakes, her hands never falter. She tears into another crate, then another. Wrong. Wrong again. The tight space rings with gunfire and the whistle of steel as Vanessa and Eliana press the creature back. Nia's teeth clench. Faster. Please, faster. Her eyes land on the crate.
I see it. Over there.
There, beneath the overturned cabinets, right where the creature stands, the crate. Go, now!
On it.
In a fleeting pause between blows, Nia's jaw sets with sudden resolve. She dives low, sliding under the twisting wreckage, gaze fixed on the crate. Jagged edges rip through her suit. The tear doesn't register. Both hands seize the handle, clutching it with the strength of someone holding on to hope itself.
Got it.
Good. Get to cover. We're ending this. As soon as Nia is safe, Vanessa's gunfire erupts in a suppressing wave. Eliana takes to the air in a single explosive motion, her dagger driving downward into the eye socket of the creature lunging at her back. Brutal and precise. Alright, it's over. For now. Sheathing her dagger, Eliana delivers a sharp kick to the creature to confirm the kill. Satisfied, she crosses over to inspect Nia's protective suit. Just a scratch on the outer layer. Nothing to worry about. See? You kept your head under pressure. That's a pass for tactical support at least. Should earn you some extra field credits when we get back to F.O.S. In a situation like that, you could read the eyes or somewhere else as the weak point and act on it. That'd be a solid 80 in tactical support. Right at the door of top marks. She checks the seal on the serum crate, her voice steady as she works to keep Nia's morale from cracking. You're seriously grading her right now?
Hi, Tila. How are you doing? I hope you're having a good day and happy Pride Month.
As for how I'm doing pretty good. I'm a bit sleepy. but I'm doing a new Punishing Grey Raven story chapter. So I'm gonna go through, you know, a good amount of this and then stop. But I've had a good day so far. I hope you've been doing well too. Reloading with one hand, Vanessa flicks a glance at Eliana. Eliana, drop the Academy scorecard. She's not in a classroom now. Yeah, happy Pride! Hi, Gay! Happy Pride Month! We are sashaying away with deals. This month at the Butter Shop, we're having a special deal. If you can prove that you're queer, we'll give you 3 pints off your choice of chucked, dropped, or drowned butter. And if you do mouth stuff, you get 4. We love gay, and it's awesome. Wait, what? It was 4 the first time? Was I wrong? We'll give you 4 pints off your choice of chucked or drowned butter. And if you do mouth stuff, you get 4. Or wait, no, that's what you meant. It was 4 the first time. It should be 3 pints off, then 4. Yeah. Skip. And if you do mouth stuff, you get 4. We love gay, and it's awesome. We also make candles now. Wouldn't a candle be nice for gay stuff? Whether in the bedroom or just hanging out. Yeah, wouldn't hey, wouldn't your partner want butter? From the original old maid's home? We've been making butter since 1945. And we've been serving all people since the last 4 months. So yeah, we are gagging for you to come take a taste of Cecily's Butter Shop, at Cecily's Butter Shop. My friend's mom is, I think is gay. So, we think it's cool. Turn it off, Willard. If you do, it should be 5? That's a lot of free butter. That's a lot of free butter. But for Pride Month, I guess it's worth it. Back at F.O.S., passing grades may get her through finals and into the construct matching hall with her chin up. But out here in this hellhole, passing just means you get to be the next one on the casualty list. Nia stiffens at her words. Eliana exhales a sigh. I know, Vanessa, but out here she still needs something to hold on to. A frown crosses Vanessa's face. She doesn't answer, and her gaze drops to the crate instead. The status of the serum? Seal's clean, crate's intact. Might still be within its expiration window even. 40 doses a crate. Still not enough. Back at the temporary safe zone, no fewer than 50 gravely injured lie waiting for the serum. It'll do for now. Ballard and I recovered 2 more crates on yesterday's supply run. Expired by a few days, but they should still hold. And after that... Vanessa echoes the words, biting down hard on the phrase. Vanessa. Without another word, her hand comes up. A shot rings out, catching the arm of a corrupted as it claws through the window behind Eliana. Beyond the glass, gray fog roils and churns. The eerie space yawns infinite in every direction, after that. Once more, she repeats the words. Eliana hears what she doesn't say. Do they still have a future? Any future at all? If they were on the surface, Vanessa wouldn't doubt it. She'd keep them alive until rescue. She'd keep them alive here forever if she had to. But this... Above the starship, the dome is dark, no longer holding the stars. Only gray fog and punishing virus, thick enough to drown in. The comms tower is silent. Electromagnetic signals are dead. The zone's boundaries can't be mapped, and beyond the small reach of the compact central purification filter, exploration is only on foot. The disaster hit without warning. They still don't know where they are, or what this is. In this fog-shrouded void, there is no day or night. Magnetic disruption has rendered every mechanical clock useless. Vanessa tracks time by the most primitive means left to her. An hourglass, once a collector's piece, now a lifeline. This is them now. The F.O.S. starship, once proud, once glorious, now suspended in gray amber like a fossil. Day 21. When the F.O.S. starship came under attack and the emergency protocols ejected it from Babylonia, everyone assumed the worst was already over. An accident, they told themselves. The communications tower had taken damage in the chaos, cutting off immediate contact with Babylonia. Still, the starship could track Babylonia's position, and that was enough. Everyone believed it was only a matter of time before they found their way back. Then the sky ripped apart without warning, revealing a rift straight out of hell. No one ever understood how the F.O.S. starship ended up there. When Vanessa opened her eyes after the violent impact, gray mist was already pouring in. A lethal concentration of the punishing virus swept through the entire starship in an instant. Alarms howled. Red warnings blazed across the dome. The protective shield collapsed like paper at first contact, utterly useless. Is this some kind of training drill? Or... The punishing virus devoured his lungs and burrowed deeper, gnawing into his organs until blood spilled from his lips. His hands scrabbled at his throat, desperate for words that would never come, before his body folded and dropped like a spoiled fruit. The punishing virus surged through the starship's shattered shield in deadly waves, and the gray mist crawled over the floor with a living will.
Punishing virus! This is a combat sim, right?
She was a first-year cadet, born and raised in Babylonia, and had never faced the punishing virus. Her trembling hands groped for the weapon at her waist, but her fingers wouldn't obey. Warning. Warning. Punishing virus concentration exceeds safety threshold. Please put on a protective suit or respiratory equipment immediately. Warning. Warning.
The mask. I need my...
A hollow thump. The terminal hit the floor. Warning. Warning. Punishing virus concentration exceeds safety threshold. Please put on a protective suit. Still, the terminal droned, reciting instructions no one was listening to. Her fingers closed tight around her weapon as she stopped breathing entirely. Watch your steps. Follow the emergency lights. Get to the compact filter. Eliana shouted until her voice gave out, desperately directing people toward safety. But her words were swallowed whole by the screaming and chaos. Follow the emergency lights. The starship has a compact filter. Don't panic. Warning. Warning. Punishing virus contamination detected. Sealing all airlocks. No. We have to override the airlocks. They can't seal now. Let that door seal, and hundreds of students would be condemned to die, trapped within these walls. I'll find a way to... She skidded to a stop before the door. Red light flickered across the control panel, the punishing virus having eaten through its systems. But the manual override. Eliana's hands scrambled behind her, prying open the lower maintenance hatch. There's no time. Professor Vermeer. The system's fried. Someone has to go below and brace the drive gears manually to force this door open. The elderly professor hacked in broken spasms, bloodshot eyes peering through his glasses. I designed these systems. Let me do my job. Eliana never got the chance to speak. Professor Vermeer turned without a word and threw himself into the maintenance passage, where gray-white mist churned like smoke from a pyre. The dense punishing virus devoured his skin on contact. Blood ran from his eyes like tears. Sight gone, the old professor crawled forward on nothing but instinct. 30 seconds. A minute. At a minute 35, his fingers closed around the gear. The one that meant life or death for everyone. Open up. Come on. A strength beyond his years flooded his limbs. The rusted gear groaned, then gave. With a deafening crash, the heavy alloy hatch blew open. The door's jammed open. Go, squeeze through. Follow the emergency lights. Keep going. Eliana's voice reached him as if from very far away. The students... Did they... make it? The last breath slipped from his nostrils. He crumpled in the narrow passage, his gray, lifeless eyes fixed on something that was no sky of Earth. Panic caught like flame. Survivors fled in every direction, desperate and directionless. But what escape remained? This eerie domain had already swallowed the starship whole. Your tactical pouches have emergency masks. A deafening gunshot cracked the chaos wide open. Frightened, lost eyes swung toward the sound like lambs catching the voice of their shepherd. There, Vanessa stood beneath the F.O.S. monument, a basic emergency mask her only shield. Eliana, take your squad and get that compact purification filter online. Got it. All operational constructs, evacuate the wounded to the purified zone. Now. Copy! The rest of you, masks on. 30 seconds to reach the nearest escape pod and suit up. Move! One order followed another, shouted across the hall. With someone to rally behind, the survivors jolted into motion. Masks were pulled on, protective suits were hauled from the escape pods. A low hum rose through the starship as the compact central purification filter on the port side stuttered, then stirred to life. On the punishing virus detector, a faint blue light blinked awake, its glow falling across Vanessa's pale face. Thank God! The filters are on! But no one had time to breathe. Rift after rift split the air overhead, and from them spilled aberrant creatures. Mindless, merciless, striking at everyone in sight. The battle had begun unannounced. Alright, suits are intact. Serum's still good. Let's move. Vanessa. Vanessa! Eliana's gaze follows Vanessa to the square ahead, where bloodstains paint the ground, where bodies lie still. The assault was so swift, so insidious, that not even the veteran commandant stationed aboard stood a chance. The punishing virus spread before anyone could react. The real enemy remains unseen, and the F.O.S. starship has already been gutted. That's not on you. You reacted faster than anyone could have asked. Who said I'm standing here feeling sorry for them? Standard tactical pouches all come with emergency respirators. The second that alarm sounded, putting on the mask should have been instinct. Vanessa looks away. This is war. The battlefield doesn't hand out second chances. You're right. The battlefield doesn't forgive. But that's fine. I'll make sure they learn what they need to survive. Every last one of them is coming back to Earth in one piece. Eliana lets out a sigh. Alright, we need to head back. The wounded are waiting on this serum. I found some unopened medical supplies too. We'll bring those along. Nia, grab those spare bandages. Get ready. We're pushing through on my signal. Nia? Yes. The frightened student straightens up. Eyes sharp, cadet. You zone out and those things get a claw in you. Don't expect me to become playing hero. Safety off. Vanessa slips through the scattered furniture in the medical bay and gestures to Eliana. The hatch swings open. Gunfire tears through the air. She hammers the encroaching creatures back from the hatch, and without breaking rhythm, swings her gun stock into a lunging enemy as she reloads. She holds the line, covering Nia's escape while the student flees the room with a bulging pack of medical supplies. Something's not right. The medbay should still be inside the edge of the filter's range. So why are these things swarming us? What do you mean exactly? She drives the skulking enemy back against the wall, then checks her remaining mags. The frown that crosses her face says everything. And now she's running short on ammo. Anyway, we gotta get back. A low, muffled thud rolls down the corridor. Behind Eliana, the wall is dissolving, ragged holes spreading like rot as the dense punishing virus devours the metal. Damn it. It's a rift! How the hell did a rift tear open here? Eliana pushes Nia back hard and opens fire on the rift, but the thick fog floods through before her shots can land. The screeches of monsters ring out right at their flank. Nia, run! Together they lay down a wall of gunfire, but the rift only yawns wider, swallowing every round. It isn't enough. Eliana! Behind you! The fog splits. A hidden monster bursts through, claws gleaming as it lunges. The claws shred through Eliana's shoulder in a flash. Instructor Eliana! Are you... Eliana stumbles, pain searing through her. Nia spins around at once, reaching to pull her back to her feet. Take this! She knows exactly how this ends. As the mechanical claws slide from her shoulder with a wet, cold rasp, Eliana hears it. The sound of her own death. Her suit is breached. She feels the punishing virus bleeding through the tear, gnawing into her flesh. Go! Get to the hatch now! Don't let them breach the safe zone! Eliana thrusts her gun into Nia's grip and lurches toward the control panel. Her blood speckles the static-filled screen as she works. Teeth grinding into her tongue, she drags herself back from the edge of unconsciousness. Eliana, seal that hatch! I'm almost dry here. I can't hold them. Vanessa's gunfire never falters. Falling back isn't an option, not an inch. One step backward, and the corridor ruptures open. The safe zone will be overrun. The system... it's not responding. The punishing virus creeps deeper, and Eliana's sight begins to smear at the edges. Gunfire, Nia shouting her name. It all falls away, muffled and far, like sounds traveling through deep water. All that remains is the hammering of her own heart. Then find the manual lever! Vanessa dumps the spent mag and reaches down for her tactical pouch. Her fingers find only one magazine left. This won't do. Vanessa turns toward Nia. Nia, open fire! The white fog strobes red with every muzzle flash. Nia grips the gun against her chest, her fingers shaking uncontrollably. Shoot, cadet, or we're all dead! Eliana's warmth still lingers on the gun, and it sears against Nia's palm. Wet heat tracks down her cheek. Blood or tears, she can't tell anymore. She shuts off her mind. She squeezes the trigger. Together, their gunfire just barely holds the line. Eliana! A brutal kick sends an enemy stumbling back through the hatch. Vanessa doesn't turn. She just shouts Eliana's name toward the other side. I'm on it! Eliana's fingers are dead weight now, nerves eaten away by the punishing virus spreading beneath her suits. Groping through the numbness, her hand closes around the lever marked emergency manual shutdown. Initiating emergency lockdown. With every ounce of strength left in her, she throws herself against the lever. Red lights whirl and electronic alarms scream above, a death knell ringing through the corridor. Idiots, the gun's dry! Vanessa tears the spent gun from Nia's grip, seizes her by the collar, and hurls her toward the hatch. Eliana, status! Whatever she was about to say strangles in her throat. Her eyes lock on the gaping rip in Eliana's suit. Eliana's body gives out. She crumples against the control panel, blood bubbling at her lips as she sinks to the floor. Take the supplies. Go. Instructor Eliana? Yeah. Keep moving. Don't stop. When you make it out, I'll give you an A in technical support. Each breath scrapes through her, ragged and wet. With what little strength remains, she rips off her tactical pouch and hurls it toward Vanessa. Vanessa. Through the shattered haze of her visor, Eliana locks eyes with Vanessa. She tries to speak. Her mouth moves, but thick blood floods out. The sound that follows is so faint it barely exists. Get the kids home. It comes out as little more than a whisper, but Vanessa hears every syllable like a bell strike. Vanessa's jaw sets. She spins on her heel and runs for the hatch without a backward glance. No! Instructor Eliana is still back there! The hatch drops like a guillotine. She's gone. Vanessa crushes Nia against her chest and holds on. No! She's still alive! She's still moving! We can still save her! Nia shrieks until her voice gives out, bucking and thrashing, every muscle straining to escape Vanessa's grip. She's just hurt! I have medicine, bandages, and the serum! She can only watch as the hatch slams down, the shrinking gap stealing everything from her. Instructor Eliana! Wake up! Please, look at me! Eliana is dead! Vanessa drives Nia to the ground, pinning her beneath a hard stare. She's dead! No, that can't be. We still have serum. We have supplies. If she could just make it back. With grinding, unstoppable momentum, the heavy alloy hatch slams down, sealing away the hell of ash-white fog and shrieking monsters beyond. Instructor! Instructor Eliana! With a final grinding clang, the gate seals shut, cutting the line between the living and the dead. Nia stares at the empty door unblinking. Then the tears break free. Everything she'd held back, the terror, the grief, floods out of her, unstoppable. She drops to her knees beside the serum case, eyes fixed on it, as though she could burn the last few minutes out of existence if she just stared long enough. How is this? But we were just... Vanessa doesn't move. She stands before the sealed gate in silence. She should be used to this. The war, the dying, the way people are there one second and gone the next. Blood trickles from her cracked lips, the taste of iron filling her mouth. She runs her tongue over the wound, then bends to retrieve Eliana's tactical pouch. Done crying. The grief burns itself out, leaving only numbness behind. Nia's face is wet, her eyes fixed on the flashing warning lights above the door. Then get up. Grab the serum. Don't let her death be a joke. Vanessa turns away. The shadows swallow her whole. F.O.S. starship. The fog. What was once a vast open deck is now crammed with salvage supplies. The compact purification filter has a limited reach, and survival means squeezing into every inch they can shield. Instructor Raynor, the third scout team is back. They brought some canned rations from the kitchen reserves. The fresh-faced student trips over his words, giving the instructor a report, still not used to being a soldier. How many cans? What kind? Any of them damaged? I don't know. All right. Take them to the supply team and find Instructor Eliana. She'll walk you through sorting and logging them. But didn't Instructor Eliana go out with Instructor Vanessa to look for the serum? Right. She did. Slipped my mind. Wait. They're still not back. It's been a while. I hope nothing went wrong. Raynor's eyes are fixed on the hourglass, worry etched into his face. He draws a breath to speak again. Then the door groans open. Vanessa steps through, hauling a heavy supply pack in her wake. Log this. 1 sealed serum crate, 5 unopened rolls of bandages, assorted meds, all from the med bay. Vanessa, the serum. Thank God, that's exactly what we needed. We have 5 critically wounded waiting on this. Raynor snaps the logbook open, logs the supplies as fast as his hands will move, and waves the medical team forward to take them. Status on the other scout teams? Teams 1 and 6 are led by constructs, pushed deep into the fog toward the far side of the deck, ran into enemy contact head-on, and only one of them made it back. Too many of those rifts out there. We still can't reach the engine room. Too many wounded. Not enough hands. And we're still posting people outside the safe zone perimeter to keep the enemy from breaking through. Next homecoming, we're making it mandatory. Every commandant brings at least 2 squad members back to campus. Got sidetracked. Team 2 was supposed to reach the comm tower for repairs. Lost their way in the fog partway there. Only 2 made it back. I already sent Team 5, Eliana and Valenzel's squad, out to search for the missing. Teams 3 and 4 hit the cafeteria, brought back what food they can carry. Haven't had time to log it yet. Right, where's Eliana? Raynor doesn't catch the gravity in Vanessa's silence. He just keeps talking. I need her help right now. She's the only one left with biometric access to the backup med cabinet. Logistics has been asking for her. Can't open it without her authorization. Got wounded from 2 scout teams waiting on injections. And on top of that... The screen jumps to the next page. Raynor's fingers flying as he scrolls through the endless checklist. Look at me. Can't keep a single thing straight. Also, the medical pod solution's almost gone. I need to ask her which storage area might have reserves so we can send a team out to grab some. And the students from Scout Team 3 that pulled back don't know how to sort supplies, and they're pretty shaken up besides. She's the best one to check on them. And lastly, Raynor is so absorbed in his checklist that he doesn't see the color drain from Nia's face. Eliana. He rattles on, assigning task after task to the logistics chief, oblivious. Each repetition of that name scraped across Nia's raw nerves like jagged steel. Instructor. Nia grits her teeth, the words lodged in her throat. She wants to speak, but nothing comes. What's wrong? Worn out? Yeah, I guess. First mission like this after all. Eliana's quarters are just in the back. Go lie down for a bit. She won't mind. Vanessa, you've been quiet. Where is she? Is there heavier cargo that still needs hauling? I can send Scout Team 3 out. Eliana's dead. What? Did she head straight to the storage? Or... I said Eliana's dead. She's not coming back. Eliana's dead. Beneko's words echo from his own lips, and Raynor stops cold. A rift caught us off guard. It tore through her shoulder, and the punishing virus infection hit. She flatlined on the spot. Register her name on the KIA list. She's not coming back. But... no! The medbay's mid-ship. Those rifts have never breached the inner hull before. We'll figure out why it happened. Vanessa's eyes hold no sorrow, just a forced, unbroken stillness that feels heavier than grief. Register her name on the KIA list. And Nia. Get to the storage bay. Teach Scout Team 3 how to sort those supplies. Use the method Eliana taught you.
On it.
The answer Eliana would have spoken to Vanessa becomes Nia's anchor. Shakily, she leans into the wall, gathers herself, and stands. But... Raynor stays rooted to the spot, the terminal clutched tight in his white-knuckled hand. How could Eliana? Vanessa pulls the terminal from Raynor's unresisting grip. The KIA list opens under her touch. Names, faces, F.O.S. IDs. Life after life, reduced to entries on a screen. Vermeer Reggie, Professor of Mechanical Dynamics. Killed in action during the F.O.S. starship's initial entry into the anomalous domain. With expert knowledge of the ship's systems, he manually engaged the emergency control lever. His decisive action created a critical 30-second window that allowed other personnel to survive. Rena, Student of Command. Killed in action while conducting reconnaissance in the anomalous domain. She was the first to identify the Chimera, and to make the initial stand against the hostile monsters within the space. Orson, Student of Mechanical Dynamics. Killed in action while conducting reconnaissance in the anomalous domain. He was trying to map dimensional patterns and fix the starship's location when a rift materialized on the deck. Page after page scrolls by. The screen's cold glow pools in Vanessa's eyes, her fingers tapping softly, the only sound in the crushing quiet. Eliana Leon, Director of Logistics of F.O.S. Killed in action aboard the F.O.S. starship outside the medical bay, when a rift opened in the perimeter of the designated safe zone. She manually sealed the hatch while gravely injured, shielding the wounded inside. Cause of death confirmed as rapid onset punishing virus infection. The system emits a soft beep. The line of green text marking her as alive turns to lifeless gray and files itself into the ever-growing folder. Alright. Enough standing around. Move. No clearance? Pry the damn cabinets open. Don't know how to sort supplies? Pile it all up. Vanessa brings Eliana's tactical pouch down hard on the table. From its folds, a small storage device clatters loose. This is... The terminal reads the storage device. What loads isn't a final message. It's a map, pinpointing every supply cache and storage area aboard the starship. Eliana's final act, laid out in cold data. Pull yourself together and get someone to retrieve the medical supplies you need. But this was Eliana's... No buts. She snaps the terminal shut and tosses it back to Raynor. Alert everyone. Gather the wounded in one place. From this moment on, no one leaves the safe zone around the filter without my direct order. But... the comms tower. The starship's speakers hiss to life, spitting a thin veil of static into the silence. Hello? Hello? Can you hear me? The comms tower? Comms tower repairs complete. Scout Team 5, mission accomplished. Eliana, did you catch that? I knew it. Your plan worked perfectly. The comms tower. They fixed it. Vanessa's hand smashes onto the comms button. This is Vanessa, command. Scout Team 5, hold position at the comms tower. Begin transmitting distress signals immediately. Huh? Vanessa? Why are you on the line? Also, activate the comms tower's tactical radar and sync the holomap to my terminal. Roger! The radar projection hums to life. Across the terrain grid, hostile signatures bloom in crimson. Too many to count, swallowing the map whole. Damn it. The numbers are still climbing. It's the rifts. The words die on her lips. Without warning, the entire starship bucks, a brutal shoulder running stem to stern. What's happening? Comms tower, report! Yes! Comms tower detecting spatial anomaly readings. Wait. What is this? Far across the deck, amid the overwhelming tide of hostile markers, 2 small green lights flicker onto the map. Authenticated F.O.S. signals. Who went out there? I just gave explicit orders. No one leaves the safe zone without my command. A frown settles on Vanessa's face. She zooms the display in on the markers, fingers already pulling up their identification data. Luke and Lucia? We're here, Vanessa! And there's another thing. Eliana's tactical supply pack. Inside are 1 expired serum, half a roll of filthy bandages, a small storage device with starship floor plans, and an empty compressed biscuit wrapper. Valen's contact information and her name are written carefully on the wrapper. Eliana used the last of her strength to press the door close button. She had no time to leave any final words. Ooh. Well, on the bright side, Commandant and Lucia are there to help now. Dead end. Save for the skittering of monsters and the bloodstains, this place is silent as a tomb. I gotta take a drink. That Valen guy seemed cute. I'm clearly focused on the important things. F.O.S. starship. The fog. That way. At the safe zone's edge, beneath the purification filter's reach, Vanessa's hand finds her gun. She narrows her eyes toward the likely point of contact, where the two green signals are expected to appear. ID signals cross-checked multiple times. No anomalies detected. Commandant Vanessa. Could it really be the Grey Raven Commandant and Lucia? I don't buy it. Vanessa's fingers tap an uneven rhythm on her gun grip, her expression empty as she does the math. Could the rounds inside blast those 2 green signals right out of the safe zone? Vanessa, please don't kill me. Old friends just waltzing in out of this hellhole fog? Please. Even Babylonia's trashiest web novels have more credibility. But if it does turn out to be Grey Raven, if they're really here, we could... Wipe that hopeful look off your face. There's no if. Without looking back, Vanessa narrows her eyes, the swirling gray fog mirrored in her pupils. I'll confirm who they are myself, but the second I give the order to fire, you better not blink. Hesitate, and I'll put a round through your head before theirs. Understood. Deathly silence claims the soldier, who dares not pursue the matter further. Gray fog drifts and coils through the air, as Vanessa studies the safe zone's boundary with unnerving calm, waiting for the answer she's already anticipated. Heavy footfalls slam against the earth, hammering at their eardrums, and Vanessa's gun sweeps toward the sound with exacting precision, her breathing all but invisible. Something's off. Vanessa's brow tightens into a sharp furrow. The footsteps. It's just one person. She has no time to process it. A piercing shriek tears the silence apart, and from deep within the fog comes the sharp metallic ring of a blade. Construct using a blade. Captain Lucia! Is that really her? There's a wet tear of severed flesh, and then a charred, corrupted limb spins through the air, arcing before it slams onto the deck. That's not Lucia! Fall back! Vanessa's order cuts through the air, signaling the soldier to hold up the gun. She leans forward, every muscle wound tight as a crossbow at its limit, her finger already kissing the trigger. The fog splits. A blade has parted it, and there in the shadows beyond stands a construct. Not particularly tall, her eyes hold the calm of the abyss itself, her black and red frame cutting sharply through the gray fog. Identify yourself! Something about this construct tugs at her memory, but Vanessa holds her weapon steady, the barrel fixed squarely on the target. Talk, or turn around and walk. Could she have been dragged into this place by the fog just like them? And if so, how could she have survived alone in here for this long? 21 days. Not long by most measures, but for the F.O.S. starship trapped in this hell, it's been an eternity. Okay, so within the fog, it's only been 21 days. It's been 3 months outside of in the real, not that this is a fake world, but you know what I mean. Anything that survives in a place like this is either a monster or something worse. And right now, F.O.S. can't afford another disaster. Silence is the only reply. Vanessa's gaze turns to steel, and she fires without a flicker of hesitation. The round screams past Alpha's ear, a hair's breadth from drawing blood. Alpha's eyes narrow. Her hand drifts, coming to rest lightly on her blade's hilt. Last chance. There won't be another.
Instructor Vanessa!
Nia rushes in from the side, and the tense standoff breaks, if only for a moment. Get behind me. Frowning, Vanessa steps forward with measured precision, subtly placing herself between Nia and Alpha. I gave orders for everyone to stay in the safe zone. Why are you here?
Instructor Raynor sent me. He said...
Still gasping from her sprint in the bulky protective suit, Nia fights to relay Instructor Raynor's message verbatim, jabbing a finger toward a different location.
He said the 2 green signals on the holo map suddenly changed course. Looks like they're heading for the safe zone from that direction.
No time to spare. Vanessa signals the construct soldier to keep Alpha covered, and whirls toward Nia's outstretched hand. 2 figures slip out of the gray haze, silent as shadows. Who's there?
Vanessa?
The 2 voices ring out almost simultaneously. Show yourselves! From the thick fog, 2 figures slowly take shape. They are none other than the Grey Raven Commandant and the squad's captain, Lucia.
It's me, Luke.
What's the situation? Vanessa doesn't lower her weapon. She doesn't step aside from the path to the safe zone either. And who's going to prove you're the Grey Raven Commandant, Luke? I am? I can vouch for Commandant. I'm Lucia, Captain of Grey Raven. Frame designation BPL-01, Pyroth version. That's public record. Anyone on Babylonia could recite it. And also, my F.O.S. student ID is... All of that's in the public database. If you don't have any real proof, turn around and leave. Now. Her gun comes up. Vanessa's eyes find you, cold and unwavering. Alright then. In our third tactical simulation exam, your pistol misfired, and you almost shot Simon. Shut up! The furrow in Vanessa's brow doesn't ease. She pivots in one swift motion, her gun finding Alpha. That just leaves you as the problem. Don't bother. I have no interest in sticking with you either. Alpha doesn't intend to stay. She turns, already walking away. Wait! What now? Another old friend of yours? She's a construct from the surface. You scramble to cobble together a cover story for Alpha. Vanessa's expression remains skeptical. Across the group, Alpha arches an eyebrow, her stare slicing through the distance to pin you in place. You want me to stay? More hands, better odds. The fog is a realm of nothing but the unknown. On the surface, Alpha is an enemy, but in this place, you all face the same threat and share the same objective. Besides, your mind must be destabilizing too. How do you... Alpha's eyes drift toward Lucia, off to the side. She goes quiet, holding herself back from further interference. We crossed paths during a battle. You face Vanessa again, trying once more to spin a believable backstory for Alpha. And what guarantees her identity holds up? I'll stake my reputation as an F.O.S. chief on it. Fine. I'll take that for now. But if she causes trouble, you're going down right alongside her. Vanessa lowers her gun and turns back toward the safe zone. Once a small central square aboard the F.O.S. starship, this space, with its proximity to the compact purification filter and its generous expanse, has been hastily repurposed into a safe zone. Salvage supplies from the fog sit in disordered piles, while makeshift metal barricades throw uneasy shadows across the floor. 21 days. That's how long the F.O.S. starship has been trapped in the fog. Food, medicine, and serum are dwindling fast, with no hope of resupply. The scent of decay lingers. In the corner, the wounded students and instructors sit or stand in scattered clusters. As your group enters, their eyes follow, silent and watchful. "89 survivors, 33 wounded. Aside from Scout Team 5 at the comms tower, this is everyone." The moment the command room door clicks shut, Vanessa's shoulders drop, just a fraction, betraying a flicker of exhaustion. What's the situation? Bad. Why does it feel like we've had this talk before? Because every time we run into each other, things are already on fire. Anyway, this is already the 21st. The final grain of sand hangs for a breath, suspended in the glass before dropping. Vanessa reaches out and flips the hourglass, watching the sand spill into its endless cycle once more. The 22nd day. A shadow crosses Vanessa's face. When F.O.S. came under attack, its defense systems triggered and ejected the starship. Surface attacks kept coming for a while after. I tried mounting a counteroffensive, but we couldn't lock onto the enemy. Had to stand down. At first, nobody thought much of it. Comms tower went down, we lost contact, but we could still pick up Babylonia's signal. Until the ship got dragged into this hellhole. You think someone deliberately pulled F.O.S. in? Yes. The F.O.S. was captured by this space, yanked in on purpose. The second we picked up the gravity anomaly, we pushed engines to full output, tried to wrestle back control of the ship. Didn't do a damn thing. One violent lurch and we were in. Has there been anyone suspicious? The most suspicious people who've shown up? You three. What about anomalous creatures? There's something big prowling the ship. Can't confirm if it's corrupted or something else entirely. Doesn't show itself much. Only surfaces after the heavy tremors. We're calling it Chimera for now. Chimera? Yeah. Strange pair of horns, massive frame. My money is on it being the thing that tore those rifts open. But I don't have people to go on the offensive. All I can do is hold this safe zone. She frowns. We've got wounded piling up. Sitting here isn't an option anymore. We need an exit. How'd you three get in? Can we backtrack through your entry point? Afraid not. Commandant and I, along with this construct, were pulled in at the old F.O.S. surface site. The old surface site? Asimov picked up a strange recording there, transmitted through Izette's communicator. Lucia and I went to investigate. We crossed paths with this construct along the way. Alpha doesn't call out your lie. And then... Gray fog had swallowed everything. Your eyes opened, and the deck beneath you felt familiar and wrong all at once. Lucia? The ringing in your ears refused to fade. Your first thought was the construct. She should have been right there with you. Commandant, in here. This is... the F.O.S. starship. Commandant, this might be the F.O.S. starship, but it's also... something more. Lucia rose to her feet. After checking the virus filtration system on your protective suit and confirming it functioned properly, she spoke in a quiet voice. The structure matches the F.O.S. starship, but this space itself, it feels like the fog. The fog? The Hetero Tower had never shown itself, which meant there should have been no way into the fog. I'm not quite sure either. When I entered the fog before, it wasn't like this. She remembered how it used to be. The fog was an infinite gray haze, where time and space held no meaning, where she could only run senselessly, a headless chicken lost in the void. But this place... countless rifts yawned open, each a doorway to some other domain, and through them came grotesque monsters by the thousands, descending upon the deck as in an endless writhing tide. Is this why F.O.S. vanished? Even through the murk. Oh. Ooh. Blech. Even through the murk, the starship's monument stood out like a beacon. Ah. Ow. That hurt. Thanks, Cole. But the silence was wrong. Too deep. Too complete. Nothing stirred except the skittering of monsters and the bloodstains that painted the floor. The place was silent as a tomb. Are they really still alive? A faint tremor rippled through your mind beacon. Lucia's brow furrowed in response. Your mind? It's nothing serious, Commandant. Just the fog pressing in on me. Did it affect you like this last time? I can't recall. It may be part of whatever's changed about this place. The Hetero Tower didn't manifest after all. Looking back yielded no route of return. The only choice left was to press on. Commandant, let's check the compact filter first. The F.O.S. had disappeared on homecoming day, with seasoned commandants on board. Faced with a punishing virus concentration this dense, they would have made straight for the compact filter. You braced for the worst with every step, until at last, human silhouettes emerged in the distance. Only then did the tightness in your chest begin to ease. The Fog, huh? Never heard the name before. Fits, though. Vanessa accesses the F.O.S. navigation logs on the terminal. So your entry point, which was near the old F.O.S. surface site, might connect to an exit leading out of the fog. But only 3 of us came through. It's still a lead. Feet sitting on our hands waiting to die. Hi, Yue! How are you? I hope you're having a good day. Happy Pride Month! Those damn rifts won't stop vomiting monsters. Priority 1 is locking down the safe zone we've got. After that, we work out... Oop. Oh, you practiced some art today? Nice! Mind if I ask what kind of stuff you were drawing? Ooh. Ugh. Anime boys? Nice. Love anime boys. The hull convulses without warning, a bone-deep tremor that sets the alloy bunkheads groaning, warping under the strain. Ugh. Alpha takes a half step back, barely perceptible, her fingers locking tight around her blade's hilt. Another mind tremor rippled through, the same kind you felt upon entering the fog. Could the Chimera be causing this? Another one. Raynor! Grab the reserve 7th scout team. Sweep the safe zone perimeter. No rifts open inside on my watch. And tell Eliana to... She caught herself and slammed her mouth shut. On it. Raynor acknowledges from outside the door and hurries off. And you, don't just stand there. Take those two and go check. She calls up the tactical radar's holographic projection, scanning for the densest enemy concentrations. There. Another green marker, drowning in an endless swarm of red hostiles. You've gotta be kidding me. A fourth F.O.S. signal? Wait, but how... Vanessa's head snaps up in shock. That position. Why is this person right on top of the Chimera? Well, that thing looks weird. It's got 3 heads. Or wait, there might be a 4th head on the back. Old friend. That designation sequence doesn't exist at all. A violent tremor racks the starship, plunging everything into bedlam. Above, the rifts stir to life in sequence like twisted, malevolent eyes awakening in the abyss. Hi, Gil! Yeah, new story bits! How are you? You having a good day? And happy Pride Month? Everyone bolts from the command room. Inside the narrow safe zone, students who were cadets only days ago now fumble into the soldiers' formations. Have you traced that designation yet? Vanessa hurries out, checking her weapon on the move. No, we couldn't. That designation sequence doesn't exist in our records at all. What do you mean, doesn't exist? Based on the designation structure, that year, F.O.S. had no female student with the ID Joanne registered. F.O.S. College assigns each student with a unique designation that encodes detailed information, including location, enrollment year, name, and student number. Still plagued by nonsense, but you have less than a week's worth of antibiotics left to take, and you're supposed to get an imaging a week after you finish them, so you will see. I hope things get better. I hope your illness goes away as soon as possible. Every enrolled student receives their own designation, and once a student has registered for enrollment, their record remains in the system, without exception. Is the Chimera mimicking an F.O.S. signal? There's no reason for it to do that. You've never laid eyes on the colossal creature, yet Vanessa's account leaves no doubt that it could obliterate every human here in any way it pleased. Then what is this signal playing at? Before she can finish, the deck convulses again. All around you, supply crates lurch into frenzy, their restraints snapping one by one. Watch out! You drag an injured soldier clear of a supply crate, a heartbeat before it tips. With a deafening crash, the massive metal container slams into the opposite bulkhead. What was that sound? The Chimera. Right on cue. From beyond the compartment comes a piercing shriek, far off, but cold to the bone. Vanessa, we're running out of time here. The effort to secure the wounded is cut short as Vanessa's terminal shrieks to life. On the screen, Raynor's face looms, blood smeared across his cheek. His eye is wild with panic. Rifts are multiplying fast, and the punishing virus's concentration spiking hard. Several just tore open right next to the comm tower. They're going after the tower itself. I've got teams 3 and 4 moving to reinforce. But I won't lie, we can barely hold the line. That tower does not fall. I'm on my way with reinforcement. You just... Lucia and I will hold the purification filter. Vanessa understands the starship's layout and the unfolding chaos far better than you do. You only just got here. Trusting her with this mission is the smarter tactical call. Alright. Your eyes meet. A curt nod from Vanessa and then she's off, rushing away with another construct who doubled back to reinforce your position. Oh, you might have to do a bronchoscope? Well, hopefully it doesn't get to that point. But even if it does, at least hopefully you can figure out what's going on. The fog carries sounds both mournful and grating. Distant, yet everywhere at once. The dense gray haze swallows all in its path, spreading through the starship. The punishing virus concentration is off the charts. It's already crystallizing. Whoa, a 45 stream streak? That's crazy. How long would it even take me to have streamed 45 times? Probably like a few months. Lucia's blade slices clean through one of the strange crystals creeping over the wall. The safe zone perimeter is compromised. We need to pull everyone back. Is running all you humans are good for? The fog parts to a sudden blade, steel flashing cold in the murk. The creature inside has no time to shriek before its body smashes down on the wreckage-strewn deck. Yeah, pretty new alpha. Most here are just ordinary people after all. Not everyone can fight like you and Lucia. Further talk is impossible now. The chaos closes in again, consuming you entirely. Red alarm lights bleed through the fog at the safe zone's edge. Squinting, Alpha catches human silhouettes through the haze. So fragile, so powerless. Ugh. Lucia can't slaughter every threat that drags itself in the mist. Any one of them could cut these humans to pieces mid-stride. Oh, you did manage to get Eternian? Nice, 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 nice. You got him twice in the same 10 pull? Man, I still don't think that's ever happened to me in this game. I did get lucky when I was pulling Alpha's new stuff though. I got her cub. I got her new cub in a single pull. First try. Which was very good because I still haven't gotten her weapon yet. I didn't have enough black cards. You screenshotted it and you'll DM it to me later. Nice, nice. Yeah. Ugh. Ugh. I sneezed and now my nose is all runny. Stupid allergies. Doesn't my body know I'm trying to read here? All they have are protective suits that filter out the punishing virus. But even that protection. Ready? Fire! A student gives the order, and the others clamp down on their triggers. Muzzles blaze, flame engulfing creatures close enough to touch. Alpha sees the terror in their faces. Still, no one breaks. No one steps back.
Push forward! Keep attacking!
Instructor Lester's voice is raw now, scraped hoarse. Around him, a cluster of F.O.S. students presses tight behind cover. Reload! My nose is still running. Crap. Ugh. Okay. Ahem. The student, shouting commands, hoists the F.O.S. banner overhead, urging the others forward to another assault. Jaws tight, arms trembling, but every weapon stays raised. A petite female student in a protective suit slips through the trenches to the next sector, bracing the gun arm of her shaking comrade. Grip it tight. Like this. Recoil's gonna wreck your shoulder otherwise.
Okay.
His grip fails him. His fingers slacken, and no matter how fiercely he wills it, the trigger won't budge.
Sorry.
He bites down hard on his lower lip. Blood seeps from the cracked skin.
I just can't.
Hey, it's okay. You're just wound up, that's all. Nia's eyes narrow. She steadies the student's aim, his finger pressing over her finger pressing over his on the trigger. The shot rips clean through a nearby monster. Also, right? See that? In a situation like that, if you could read the eyes or somewhere else as the weak point and act on it, that'd be a solid 80 in tactical support. Right at the door of top marks. Her voice stumbles over Instructor Eliana's phrases, repeating them like a mantra. Then, gently, Nia releases her hold on his hand.
Really? Of course.
You've got it from here. Once more, she helps also settle his sights on the target. Ready? Fire!
Don't let them near the barricade!
The heavy guns thunder as one, their muzzle fire scorching blazing lines through the mist. Monsters shriek and collapse under the barrage, but it means nothing. More of them pour over the fallen in a snarling metallic wave. The same volleys that would tear through steel plates cannot stop them. The tide surges on, right to the barricade's lip. Watch out for the flank! They're breaking through! The roar of close-range detonations swallows the screams whole. A claw erupts from the enemy side, too fast for the banner-bearing student to react. Once held firm and high, the F.O.S. banner dips, tilts, and crashes down as the student crumples beneath the blow.
Fall back! To the perimeter!
Instructor Lester clears the shattered barricade in one leap, his twin heavy submachine guns roaring with an unbroken stream of fire. Instructor Lester! Monsters flood forward, swallowing the distance in an instant. Lester discards his empty guns, pulls a tactical knife, and sinks it clean into an enemy's joint. Get back! Ugh. From a fissure in the deck, a dark form erupts. A shriek, a flash of claws, and then it's through him. Lester is slammed back and pinned to the metal bulkhead before he can even gasp. Instructor! Nia vaults out of the trench, rifle blazing, but the fire she pours into the enemy barely slows them. In an instant, several breach the gap, flooding the trench and ripping savagely into students. They're in. Don't panic! Keep firing! Her voice rips through the trench, a scream driven by nothing but raw instinct. Okay, have a nice shower, Kale. Hold your ground! Don't let go! Shoot! The students clamber out of the trench in a frantic rush. Nia spots the enemies closing from behind, tosses her jammed rifle aside, and roots herself squarely in the passage. For F.O.S! Her hand snatches the microbomb from her waist. A blade cuts the air, knocking aside an enemy mid-lunge. The impact jars the microbomb from Nia's grip, sending it tumbling into the mass of monsters. And then, that strange, unshakable feeling surges through Alpha's mind again. Commandant! Those rifts! You catch your breath for a split second, then gaze up at Lucius shout. The rifts are still spreading all around the vessel, and from every one pours an unending tide of enemies flooding toward the deck. Establish a new safe zone near the filter. Evacuation takes priority. Understood. Alpha, you... I don't answer to you. I'll hold the line for... Another piercing shriek splits the air. Alpha reels, her knuckles bone white around the hilt of her blade. Whatever this disturbance is, it's reaching straight into your mind. Even your mind beacon flickers, its readings spiking erratically. It's the Chimera. So, that's the source. Alpha steadies herself and draws her blade.
Alpha, wait! You reach out, but it's already too late. Alpha is gone, swallowed by the fog beyond the perimeter. Blood slicks the ground beyond the safe zone. Somewhere in the fog, the Chimera draws nearer to the starship. With every shriek it looses, the fog splinters wider. Rift after rift gapes open, disgorging packs of creatures that scramble onto the deck like rabid wolves, surging mindlessly toward the safe zone. No objective, no strategy. Only the raw instinct to kill every human they find. You. Alpha stares through the shifting fog, her gaze finding the Chimera where it looms beside the starship, like a waking nightmare. It seems sad. But how can she even feel that? Why does its sorrow echo in her mind? Then the pain hits her mind, like claws digging into her psyche and squeezing. Alpha frowns, blaming the fog. It has to be the fog. Her blade lashes out, cutting through the creatures that throw themselves at her. If you're the source... She crosses the gap in an instant, boots hitting the blood-stained deck with a solid, unyielding impact. What do you want? The flash of steel, and a creature is pinned to the bulkhead mid-climb, clawing limbs going still. Dragging all these people here. The F.O.S. starship, me, the Grey Raven Commandant, and Lucia. The massive creature looms in the distance. Alpha locks onto it, her blade slicing through the swirling fog as she takes 2 slow, measured steps forward. What are you planning? Near the communications tower, F.O.S. starship, the fog. Fog spirals in a slow, churning vortex around the tower. The Chimera's cries rip the sky apart, and with every rift that blooms, the punishing virus thickens and crystallizes. Corrupted structures form, winding around the tower like tightening coils. Where the hell is our backup? Maya! Just in time, Raynor spins his gun and fires one-handed. His other hand snaps forward, snatching the student by the collar and yanking her out of the creature's reach. Spacing out now? Trying to get yourself killed? Get back there and cover me! Yes!
A hair's breadth from death, the student grips her gun and throws herself back behind cover.
If support doesn't arrive soon, the tower's done.
Jaw clenched, Raynor squints through the dense fog, his bloodshot eyes fixed desperately on the nearby communications tower. The creatures are scaling the punishing virus crystals, clawing their way toward the tower's peak. Scout Team 5 throws every round they have at them, but it's barely making a dent. Open fire! A cold shout tears through the air above. The next instant, a vicious barrage of fire slams into the creatures, scaling the communications tower with surgical precision. Vanessa! Thank God! Wait, where'd you get heavy artillery? Storage. Vanessa offers no further explanation. She snaps an order at the 2 constructs to maintain fire, her other hand already activating her terminal. Scout Team 5, Valen, you still with us? Of course! For a moment, only static and the sickening scrape of metal. Then the transmission clears, and a male instructor's voice comes through. Scout Team 5, full complement 3, all 3 standing. Vanessa, we're almost out of ammo, but we're alive, all of us. Then stay that way. I'll handle the ammo. Keep broadcasting the distress signal, and hang in there. Never thought I'd hear that from you, Vanessa. Don't worry. I haven't proposed to Eliana yet. No way I'm dying here. Before Vanessa can respond, the line goes dead. Valen still doesn't know about Eliana. Who's going there to tell him now? Vanessa doesn't even look up. She cuts Raynor off mid-sentence, her tone icy and detached, her eyes locked on the tactical map. Forget it. None of us even knows if we're making it through today. Another green light flickers and dies on the holographic display. Her lips tighten into a thin, bloodless line. Lester's down. Despair drags Raynor's head down. He once strode through F.O.S. College in Babylonia as its director of administration, wielding control over every asset aboard the starship. Now, all that power is meaningless. Here, in this nightmare, he can do nothing but bear witness as his old comrades are cut down, one after the next. Quit standing there. I brought ammo. We need to get it up to Valen and his team. She moves too fast, and the wound in her arm pulls hard. The last trace of color bleeds from her pale face, her brows creasing sharply. You're hurt? It's nothing. Change my suit, no infection risk. Don't fuss. Vanessa shifts, a casual turn, masking something far from casual. A wound slashed deep to the bone, blood welling and spilling in steady rivulets down her arm. Find a way to get those supplies up there. Whatever it takes, that tower does not fall. Raynor raises his head, gaze fixed on the steel framework standing isolated in the dense fog. A flicker of doubt crosses his eyes. But even if we hold the tower, can we actually reach Babylonia from here? Before, I wasn't sure. Now, it's possible. On the holographic map, 2 green signals still flash, locked in combat. Vanessa's eyes follow them, unwavering. Luke and Lucia, and that suspicious construct. They made it into the fog. That proves this space is unstable. It's not a sealed barrier. Intermittent exits lead back to the surface. Her eyes narrow, zeroing in on the waveband frequencies scrolling across the terminal screen. As long as we keep broadcasting on all frequencies, and as long as Babylonia is still searching, we will reach them. According to Eliana's map, the warehouse should be right here. Commandant Vanessa, I advise against going in. The punishing virus levels inside are extremely high. And what am I supposed to do? Use you as the heavy cannon? Find a way to open that door. Yes. Cover us. There are too many of them. Retreat. Retreat? Are you kidding me? Gather supplies. Take everything you can. Commandant Vanessa, you're hurt. Quit talking and move. Take everything you can carry. The heavy cannon and that ammo crate too. Hurry! The exiled dreamer. The fog is cold, like the day they left for the 21st time. she trudges through the endless fog. The fog is cold like the day they left for the 21st time. No, this is her memory. Whose memory is this? The fog has dissolved time, dissolved space, and dissolved her along with them. Who is crying? Who is asking to go home? But where is home? She no longer remembers how long she has walked, nor how long she has been trapped in this nowhere. She only remembers that she must find those two. Until she does, she can only carry all this burden and slowly push forward. Slowly push forward? No. She can't keep searching like this. She still hasn't found anything. She still hasn't found them. Her thoughts flicker in and out of existence. Only the pain stays constant, rooted deep within her mind. The crown is still feeding on her flesh. She can feel it. But even now, she cannot control it. That power bleeds outward, uncontrollable, shredding the fog. Rifts open in its wake, and monsters pour through. Stop. It has to stop. She has to stop. Keep using the crown's power like this, and F.O.S. will... There's no time! A multitude of voices erupt inside her skull all at once. She is dying. They are dying. She is dying! Find that person. Find her. Find them! Another shriek rips from her throat, and the crown's power surges through the fog once more. Then she stops. The great head turns, slow and deliberate, toward the space above the starship's deck. She sees 3 specks of light, each burning at a different intensity. Is that... you? She moves closer toward the deck, desperate to discern their faces. It is you. She thinks she recognizes them. Her old friends. F.O.S. starship. The fog. With each second, the zone of safety draws tighter. The wounded huddle in makeshift trenches pieced together from supply crates. Just beyond the crude barricade, monsters pound the splintering defenses, wave after relentless wave. What's the status of the CPF? The filter's holding steady. As long as those monsters are still made of punishing virus, the safe zone will hold. But the problem is the mass of their bodies. They're piling up fast. Severed limbs and seeping blood inch into the cramped sanctuary, stealing what little ground remains. The air reeks of burning, sharp and suffocating. Back to back, the wounded students hold their silent vigil, eyes sweeping the fog, bracing. Despair tightens its grip. The cold settles into their bones. Their breath, pale ghosts in the frigid air, is the only warmth they have left. Someone finally breaks the silence. It's so cold. That's the blood loss talking. He struggles upright and gropes blindly through a corner of a supply crate, his fingers closing around a roll of stained bandages. The last bandage Instructor Eliana left us. Before she gets back. Working with his good hand and his teeth, He helps cinch the girl's bandages tight to hold back the bleeding. Before she gets back, we'll have to make it last.
The rations in that crate. Almost gone too, aren't they?
We can stretch them a bit longer. As for the rest, it all comes down to who gets there first. Us getting out, or them getting in. We make it back, we get to eat. They break through first, we're the meal. Either way, someone's belly gets filled. The hushed whispers fade in the flickering light. The student, blood loss taking its toll, slips into unconsciousness.
Commandant!
A blade arcs through the air. A grotesque monster slams against the supply crate behind you, pinned clean through. It had clambered over the corpses of its own kind to breach the safe zone.
They're breaking through!
Warped mechanical limbs screech and scrape like rusted iron. The central purification filter hums at full capacity, its safe zone slowing the advance. But it's not enough to stop another creature from springboarding off the first one's arm to lunge straight at the wounded.
They're using the corpses as stepping stones!
A flash of steel splits the air. Their blade arcs near perfect as Lucia grips it level and severs the enemy's joints with one clean strike.
Let's keep moving!
Until a real solution presents itself, your only option is to keep shrinking the perimeter. At least the purification filter still holds.
I'll clear the perimeter first. There are too many closing in.
Lucia vaults the trench. Her voice is swallowed by the grinding cacophony of the mechanical monsters.
If you can move, help those who can't. Head straight for the filter and don't look back.
Leaning on one another, the students drag themselves toward the central purification filter. The student's knees buckle. For a heartbeat, she hovers on the edge of collapse.
Hold on to me.
The boy endures the searing pain of his severed arm and hooks his good arm around her shoulder in an unyielding grip.
Don't. Just go. I can't move anymore. They're right behind us.
The swelling in her ankle has turned vicious. She shoves her companion away. When she speaks, despair clings to her every word. Claws rip through the air, bearing down on them. You drag the student down, tumble together with her across the ground. The instant you rise, you squeeze the trigger. The claws slice past inches from your faces. The shot staggers it back, barely. It recoils, shrieking in pain, then surges forward again. A blade cuts through the air. The enemy's charge halts, dead in its tracks. Thanks. You heave the now unconscious student upright, mutter a quick thanks to Alpha, and hand her off to another instructor still on his feet. I thought you weren't coming back. I said I'd help. My prey hasn't shown up yet. That's all. The Chimera? Yeah. It's closing in on the starship. Another tremor slams through the deck. Alpha steadies herself, pressing a hand to her forehead. Need my help? It's fine. Pain throbs behind her eyes. Alpha furrows her brow, willing it away by sheer force. So, why did you go to the old F.O.S. site? The evacuation quiets for a moment. You seize the pause and finally ask Alpha that question. Why did you? To find the F.O.S. starship. We picked up an unknown signal at that location. Alpha freezes for a moment, seemingly surprised by your frankness. Consider it an exchange of intel. Even if we're not on the same side, getting out of here comes first. I was following some phantoms, and they led me here. Phantoms? We saw it all. How the rift opened and swallowed the F.O.S. starship whole. We meant to warn you, but the power pouring out of this place, it started affecting Luna. That power spawned all these strange phantoms. Some I recognized. Others I've never experienced. The image surfaces again. Herself, standing beneath the F.O.S. monument and talking. Then, I ran into you. It started affecting Luna. With her frame upgraded, Luna should command most of the Ascension network. So for something to affect her like that, something might be hidden in the fog. I'm not sure, but whatever it is, I'll hunt it down. The Chimera's shriek splits the air, cutting your conversation short. It's here. Alpha grips her blade. Without another word, she charges into the fog. She gropes through the fog, searching. She knows they are on the deck. Could it be you? Or you? Open fire! Vanessa gives the order, her face grim as the Chimera materializes from the fog. The cannons roar. Deadly fire erupts, and the massive beast barely flinches, turning its head just slightly. Damn it! Why is it charging straight at us now? What is it doing? Horror seizes Raynor's face. He can only watch as the Chimera plucks a struggling student from the deck. The dense punishing virus devours the protective suit in seconds. 3 minutes are all it takes. The student melts into a shapeless, bloody ruin before the beast flings his body aside. Not you. Stop! A storm of gunfire rakes the Chimera's body. Its blood showers the deck, metal dissolving into pitted ruin wherever it lands. The beast doesn't even flinch. Unhurried, unfeeling, it stoops and seizes another human. Ugh, I just realized it's got eyes on its hands. Not you, either. Then, all of you. Power erupts from her, uncontrolled. With it, the starship groans and shudders. And she sees. She sees. Alpha stands on the deck, her gaze cold as she looks over. Guard the comms tower. I'll handle this. She leaps down from the deck, chasing the Chimera as it retreats into the fog. Damn it, a rift! Every alarm is swallowed by the Chimera's shriek. Alongside the comms tower, a colossal rift splits the air, slowly yawning open. It gapes like the maw of some ravenous beast, waiting to feast on its next meal. Fallon, do you copy? Vanessa doesn't hesitate. Heavy weapon in hand, she sprints for the base of the comms tower. The terminal coughs back harsh static. Oh well, they really don't want us making it back, do they? Vanessa pours every ounce of strength into her sprint. Above her, at the top of the comms tower, a small figure leans perilously over the edge. Fallon! What are you doing up there? Sharing the good news, of course. A low chuckle escapes Valen. He's slumped against the window frame, unable to stand, one finger still holding down the comm terminal's button. The scout team's 2 other members are here with him as well, or what remains of them. Our distress signal got a response. Huh? Toby went out to install the signal booster. He fell. All I could grab was his left arm. Elle and I stayed to hold the tower. Enemies broke through. We were out of ammo. To keep the equipment safe, Elle took a micro-explosive and sealed herself outside the hatch with them. All I have left of her is her terminal. But we pulled it off. Scout Team 5, mission accomplished. He drags a hand across his bloodied mask. The smear clears, revealing a satisfied smile. We've got a signal from Babylonia. Valen! With Valen's movement, the tower's long dark signal light flickers awake. That thin blue glow burns impossibly bright against the ravenous dark rift. Vanessa, listen. I'm routing Babylonia's channel straight to your terminal. The tower has to hold until we get the full transmission from Babylonia, and it will hold. Beneath the tower, the first enemy claws its way out of the rift, limbs twisted and grotesque. Vanessa! Do me a favor. Tell Eliana I said hi. He hits the detonator. Tell her I'll be waiting at the end of the stars. He leaps into the open air. No. He was handsome. I mean, I guess he was taken, but still. The storage device was found below the communications tower. Someone must have dropped it there on purpose, using the tough fabric from an F.O.S. instructor uniform as a makeshift parachute. The device barely still works, and inside is a short video. Eliana, I'm sorry. I can't keep my promise. Couldn't save Elle or Toby. Though I'll be seeing them soon enough. But we did it. We protected the communications tower. I do still regret one thing. Promised I'd take you to that restaurant in Babylonia. Don't even know how things are there now. Just hope it's still open when you make it back. Try that grilled fish for me, okay? It looks so good in the ad. Alright. I think that's everything. My account password is your birthday. Use whatever money is left however you want. It's probably the last thing I can give you. So, I guess this is goodbye. He leans closer to the camera. His face is streaked with blood, but his eyes are still gentle. Eliana, don't follow me too soon. Take your time. Go back to Babylonia and grow old, happy. Let me be selfish just this once. Please don't forget me. I'll be waiting for you at the end of the stars. That's where we'll meet again. Little does he know, she went there first. Ugh. Into the fog of nightmares. Lucia. From the yawning rift comes a deep, thunderous roar, and with it, a detonation of blinding light. Amid shrieks of the monsters, the starship's terminal hisses with static, and Asimov's voice cuts through the chaos. This is Babylonia, broadcasting on all frequencies. Priority emergency relay to the F.O.S. starship. Distress signal received. Babylonia will guide you home. First, make for the F.O.S. monument. Remove the manual physical seal and activate the deep space beacon. Then restart the main engines. Full thrust, synchronized to the beacon. Babylonia will be waiting at the outer perimeter. Asimov! Pog! We're out of time. I don't know how much of this transmission is getting through, so commit this. Unlock the deep space beacon inside the monument. Restart main engines. Maximum thrust. And leave everything else to us. Deep space beacon. Engines. The F.O.S. monument and the engine room both lie at the starship's stern, a long way from the fragile safety they've carved out here. Can we actually pull this off? Doesn't matter, we're doing it. The F.O.S. monument stands on the opposite shore of the fog's endless sprawl. Vanessa stares across at it, then lets the last of her doubts fall away. Let's move. Safe zone first. We should regroup with the Grey Raven Commandant. Nearby, in another compartment, Alpha is still hunting the giant chimera. Strangely, the creature wants no direct confrontation, bolting the very moment she draws near. It appears to be in tremendous pain. Its life is draining away. Is the fog doing this? How is she feeling what the creature feels? In the split second Alpha freezes, the chimera shrieks and bolts, hurtling toward the outer perimeter of the starship's safe zone. Alpha bursts into motion, chasing it straight into the jaws of another battlefield. Still more, huh?
Not to perish, not to end. Abyss, bow before me.
What are these things?
Good question.
You okay?
I want to go home.
How are we going to feel those rifts?
attacks are still getting stronger.
Please! The upper platform needs backup.
Damn it! Another rift just opened over there.
What a pain.
I'm here to help.
Not to perish, not to end. Abyss! Bow before me! Against all odds! My blade shall quench the fading light! Yeah. Not that.
The one behind all this. I take it it's you?
Very big. F.O.S. starship, the Fog. The safe zone has been anything but safe for some time now. Damaged emergency lights strobe erratically along the bulkheads. The wounded and the exhausted huddled together in cramped clusters, panic carved into their blood-smeared faces. Monsters! They just keep coming! No matter how many we put down, they don't stop. They're going to break through. His voice, barely more than a sob, echoes softly through the silent trenches. Are we really going to make it? Can F.O.S. really make it home? Along the defensive perimeter, muzzle flashes sputter and fade as ammunition runs desperately low. Trapped in this strange stretch of the fog, the F.O.S. starship is cut off from any hope of resupply. When the last rounds are spent, and even the constructs are pushed past their breaking point, what options will remain? Of course F.O.S. is making it back! As the others fall silent, Nia lurches upright with a wince, her wounded left leg barely holding her weight. So many instructors, so many of our classmates gave their lives here. Are we supposed to just leave them? Walk away and let them rot in this damn fog? It's not over. We're not giving up. What did F.O.S. teach us? Fight the enemy, protect the living. There are still people alive right now. We still have strength left, don't we? The instructors and the Grey Raven Commandant are still fighting out there. So can we. But with what? We're nearly out of ammo. We're down to ration bars. We've been using expired serum, and even that's almost gone. Even the F.O.S. banner is... He shakes his head, dejected. No ammo. Then we use our knives! Using her teeth, she tears through the bandages on her arm, then shreds off her uniform jacket. Rations? I still have Instructor Eliana's storage map. We can send out search parties, scavenge the supply bays in the fog. With her own blood, she paints the F.O.S. emblem, stroke by stroke, onto the blank back of her jacket. Humanity does not fall here. And we, the students of F.O.S., don't break against something like this. She picks up a rifle, its ammunition long spent, and ties the crude banner firmly to its muzzle. Nia,
First year cadet of command, F.O.S. designation 074.
She raises the F.O.S. banner high and charges past the perimeter, driving it deep into the mass of fallen monsters.
For F.O.S!
Instructor Eliana's voice echoes in her mind. She tightens her grip on the dagger and, with an unyielding resolve, plunges it into the socket of a snarling monster.
Hi, 88 expert. How are you doing today? Happy Pride Month. Am I winning? Within the story at the moment? No. No, I'm not winning, son. Things are bad.
F.O.S. starship deck. The fog. To those who are by, please remember to buy our premium D's Nuts with limited purchase and a discount of 90%. That's a really big discount. Deep within the fog, the Chimera stops. Under the blaring red emergency lights, a blade gleams like a cold star. Alpha spins around and lands directly in the creature's path. Nowhere to run now. The blade sweeps through the fog like a scythe of cold light. No time to recoil. The Chimera absorbs the full, brutal force of the strike. You. It's wailing. The creature, no, she is wailing. Pain floods Alpha's mind, breaking her stance for a heartbeat. That's all the Chimera needs. It bolts toward the top of the deck. You. Don't go! She darts forward in pursuit. What is going on? Why can't she sense the savage bloodlust she'd expect from a beast? Instead, all she feels is an overwhelming grief, so thick it threatens to drown her. Moments ago, it was butchering humans without hesitation. How can that same creature now seem so utterly heart-stricken? Chimera stops at the center of the deck. You. The sound escaping her mouth is no longer a monstrous shriek. Our... Lucia. Who are you? Unfathomable grief pours from the Chimera's voice. Her hands stretch toward Alpha, open and trembling, blind to the blade hanging between them. Raw and broken sobs spill out. You. Alpha is caught. Those grief-stricken eyes hold her fast, and without thinking, she steps closer.
Alpha!
Not far off, Lucia tears herself away from the enemies pouring through the rift, ready to charge toward Alpha. But she's too late. The Chimera wraps its arms around Alpha and plunges into the endless fog below. Uh-oh. Well, it's a little past 2, so I think I'm gonna end here for today. We're a quarter of the way through the story. I'm guessing... Oh wait, there's a new thing. Tactical supply packs are scattered across the ground. This one has a tiny cat badge pinned to it. Along with the standard supplies, there's also a broken handheld game console inside. This tactical supply pack is soaked with blood. Inside is a small note torn from a notebook. It says, "No one cares when a mayfly dies. No one will care when I die either. Everything rises, everything falls." Another tactical pack has a hidden row of large caliber rounds and some illegally modified gun parts. That's a serious violation of F.O.S. school rules. But where did their owners go? So yeah, we're a quarter of the way through the story. I'm guessing I'm gonna have to stream in quarters, so I'll probably have to do 3 more streams in order to finish this. So I'll try to do another one tomorrow night. No, thank you for coming, Yue. Thanks for coming along. I hope you had a nice time. Let's see who is still streaming. Thank you for coming too, Toa. I hope you had a good time. Okay, there are a few different people streaming. Let me see who I haven't raided in a bit. Okay, let's go raid. Suzu. Suzu is playing Wuthering Waves right now and is going through the most recent story chapter, which I went through as well not too long ago. It's the one with Denia, the really sad, depressing one. So let's go say hi to Suzu, and let's join her on the feels journey. Alright. I will try to stream again tomorrow night and continue the next part of this story. Okay. Thanks everybody for coming. I hope everybody's been having a good start to their Pride Month. Okay. I'll see you all later. Bye-bye.